Hello student, on behalf of our KTHM College, I am welcome you in our 8th lecture. In the previous lecture, we have seen the first chapter. The name of that chapter is mass spectrometry. In that chapter, we discuss the basic principles of mass spectrometry, different ionization techniques, then types of mass analyzer, then how to interpret the mass spectra. Along with that, we also discuss the nitrogen rule, ring rule. Such a parts we have already seen in the first chapter. Now, in the today's lecture, we will start our second chapter. The name of that chapter is Fundamentals of Chromatographic Methods of Analysis. Okay, student, we will start our this second chapter, Fundamentals of Chromatographic Methods of Analysis. So these are the learning objective. After completion of the lecture, we must know these things: definition of chromatography, basic principles of chromatography, then about the chromatogram, how the development of chromatograms takes place. That part we learn in the today's lecture. Okay? Now we start with the chromatography. Chromatography, which is very familiar to us because chroma means color and graphene means writing. It is used in many scientific fields, in many subjects, and in analytical field these chromatographic techniques are used. The Russian botanist Mikhail Spets in 1903 developed this technique. This chromatography is an important analytical technique used for the separation, identification and purification of organic and inorganic components. Suppose we have a mixture. In that mixture, different components are present. A, B, C components are present in the mixture. Then we have to separate this A, B, C component. That's why here we say separation. Okay. After separation, we can identify that components. Which are they? Hence the identification. And we must purify this compound. And last it is the purification. Okay, student? So it is used for separation, identification and purification of organic and inorganic components present in the mixture. It is used for large or small quantities. So it is used qualitatively as well as quantitatively. Okay. Then we move towards the principles of the chromatography. This chromatography is an analytical separation technique. It is commonly used for separating a mixture of a chemical substances into its individual components so that the individual components can be thoroughly analyzed. Okay, student? That means we have to separate the component present in the mixture and that components are analyzed by the different technique. These are many types of There are many types of chromatography techniques are used. The out of that, the liquid chromatography, gas chromatography, ion exchange chromatography, affinity chromatography, all these chromatographic techniques, all of these employs the same basic principle. All these techniques have the same principle. Then we move towards the next, that is chromatogram. We know that in the chromatography we use two phases. One is stationary phase and the second one is the mobile phase. This stationary phase, it is a solid support, while the mobile phase, it is a solvent. It is a movable, so it is called mobile phase. The two types of phases are used. One is stationary and the second one is mobile phase. So what about this chromatogram? Chromatogram is a column or a paper strip on which some or all the constituent of a mixture have been separated by being adsorbed at a different location. So we see this figure, then the idea get clear about this chromatogram. Here a paper is there this is a paper, and this paper, it is nothing but a stationary phase. Okay. On that paper, we apply a mixture. This mixture consists of a three sample. Yellow, red and blue color components are present in this mixture. Okay. We place this paper in the mobile phase. This mobile phase, it is moved on the paper from bottom to the top portion by the capillary action, and the separation of the components are takes place. This is nothing but the chromatogram. Okay, it is clear. So in this chromatogram, we use stationary phase and mobile phase. The stationary phase is the paper, while mobile phase is the solvent. We apply the mixture, and mobile phase run on the stationary phase by the capillary action, and we separate the components which are present in the mixture. So here blue, red and yellow components are separated. Okay, it is clear. Then we move to the next slide. In that, the development of chromatogram is explained. This development of chromatogram, it is explained by two ways, by column chromatogram and by paper chromatogram. So we first discuss the development of column chromatogram. This column chromatogram, it is explained by three different analyses. In that, the first is a frontal analysis. In this frontal analysis, only one compounds can be separate in the pure form. Other compounds which are present in the mixture will not separated in the pure form. That's why this technique, it is not most commonly used. Why it is not most commonly used? Because only one component is separated from the mixture. That's why it is not very convenient method. Okay. Only one component can be separate, and that component has least affinity with the stationary phase and highest affinity with the mobile phase. Okay student. Due to this highest affinity with the mobile phase, it is go through the column fast and eluted first. Okay. This A compound has more affinity with the mobile phase. That's why it is go very fastly and eluted first. Right? And this A compound has least affinity with the stationary phase. Least affinity with the stationary phase. That's why it is eluted first. Column here, the column, it is filled with the stationary phase. A compound has a least affinity with the stationary phase and highest affinity with the mobile phase. Only one compound, that is A compound, it is separated in the first fraction. While in the second fraction, this is the first fraction. In the second fraction, it contains A and B, and in the last fraction, third fraction, these three components A, B, C are present. Okay, we see this figure. This is a column. That column, it is filled with the stationary phase, and the solvent or the mobile phase, it is introduced from the top. Okay. First, we introduce the sample here. This sample contains three components A, B and C. When the mobile phase, it is introduced from the top, what happens? This mobile phase go by this direction by the gravitational force. Due to the gravitational force, the mobile phase get in the downward direction, and the component which having the highest affinity with that mobile phase, they eluted first. So here A compound has very highest affinity with that mobile phase, hence it is eluted first. Then AB and ABC in the third fraction. It is clear by observing this graph. In this graph, in the first fraction, we get only A compound. Here, only the blue part is there, so it is a first fraction. While in the second fraction, we get the mixture of A and B. That's why here blue and pink color is there. So we get a mixture of A and B in the second fraction. While in the third fraction, we get three components A, B, C. That's why here blue, pink and green components are there. Okay. So only one component is separated by this technique. Remaining components are not separated. That's why it is not most commonly used. Okay, student, it is clear? This is about the frontal analysis. Then the next analysis, the name of this analysis is a displacement analysis. In the name itself indicate its meaning. Displacement agents are used. That's why the name is given displacement analysis. Okay, student? In this analysis, we are using some displacement agent which will added in the solvent system in the mobile phase. Means when we add the mobile phase or the solvent from the top of the column, along with that we also add this displacement agent. What is the role of this displacement agent, student? It will displace the solutes or the sample compound from the stationary phase. What they do? They displace the sample compound from the stationary phase because the affinity of this displacement agent are greater as compared to the solute present in the sample. So, these displacement agents are used to separate those compounds which are having very high affinity towards the stationary phase. But in the displacement method, we will not get the 100% separation of each compound. Hence, this technique it is also not be used for the analysis. Okay, student, we see this figure. In this figure, this is a column which is filled with the stationary phase and the mobile phase it is introduced from the top. Along with that mobile phase, we also add the displacement agent. The compound which has highest affinity towards the stationary phase, they are eluted first. Okay. So we get in the first fraction a compound is obtained. A compound will obtain. In the second fraction we get the mixture of A and B. So see here A and B is obtained. In the third fraction we will get a B component. In the fourth fraction again we get the mixture of B and C. And at the last we get the compound C. This technique we separate the compounds A, B and C, but along with that we also get the mixture of compound. Here AB and BC mixture is also obtained along with that, and at the last C component this displacement agent displace this C component which having highest greater affinity towards the stationary phase. That's why they displace the C component. So we never get the C component separately. That's why we not get the 100% separation of each compound. Due to that, this technique it is not most commonly used. Okay, student? Then we see the third analysis. The name of that analysis is illusion analysis. This illusion analysis it is most commonly used in the column chromatography. Why? Because in this method all compounds are separated in the 100% pure form and it can be used in quantitative analysis. We are getting the compound along with the solvent and we know that solvents are get easily evaporate and we will get a compound in the pure form. That's why we get a compound in the pure form. Hence, this technique it is most commonly used in the column chromatography. This illusion technique it is divided into two types. The first one is isocratic illusion and the second one is a gradient illusion. In the isocratic illusion, the composition of mobile phase will be same throughout the analysis. That means only one solvent system is introduced throughout the analysis. While in the gradient illusion, we used two solvent. One is a weak solvent and the other one is a strong solvent. And we will increase the ratio of that strong solvent gradually so the separation will be better. If we are not getting a proper resolution, then proper resolution by the isocratic illusion, then we can go through the gradient illusion. This gradient illusion is also for the fast separation of some compounds. Okay, so gradient illusion, it is most commonly used. So this is about the illusion analysis. Then we discuss comparative study of these three analyses. Here the first figure indicate only one fraction. In the first fraction we get only one component. Other components are not separate 100% pure. That's why this technique it is not used. Then in the second displacement analysis, in the first fraction we get a compound A. In the third fraction we get compound B, and in the last we get compound C. But along with that we get the mixture of the components. That's why, and at the last this C component it is displaced by this displacement agent. We never get the component C. That's why this technique it is also not be used for the analysis, or very less commonly used for the analysis. Okay. While in the illusion analysis, we get three components separately in the pure form. That's why it is used for the analysis. Okay. It is clear, student? This is about the development of a column chromatogram. Then we discuss the development of a paper chromatogram. It is very simple. We have done this in the practical also. For the paper chromatography, paper is the most important component. And the development of chromatogram, it is also known as a technique of paper chromatography. So here we see the paper. The height of the paper is 15 centimeter and the width of the paper it is 3.5 centimeter. Okay, how to develop the chromatogram? So for that we take a paper which acts as a stationary phase. The height of the paper it must be 15 centimeter and the width is 3.5 centimeter. From the bottom 2 centimeter above we draw a line. That line it is called a baseline. On that baseline we put a sample which containing different components. Putting the sample on the paper, that process it is known as spotting. Putting the sample on the paper, that process it is known as spotting. In this way, we develop this chromatogram. The development of the solute from the paper can be done by the three ways. How the separation development of this solute takes place, that can be explained by three ways. The first one is ascending development method, second descending development method, and the third one is a radial or circular paper method. So one by one we discuss these methods. Ascending development method, we prepare a chromatogram, that means this paper. On paper we put a sample and we place this paper in the chamber which containing a solvent. This solvent acts as a mobile phase while this paper acts as a stationary phase. Okay. Due to the capillary action, this solvent it is run on this stationary phase, and during that transferring into the stationary phase, it separates the component which are present in the mixture. This is the solvent front. That means from this to this line, the solvent get moved. Okay, this is a spotting, this one is a solvent, and solvent it is, that means mobile phase run from the bottom to the top through the stationary phase or through the paper against the gravitational force, and that development is due to the capillary action. Okay, This is about the ascending development method. Then the second one is descending development method. In that, the mobile phase will be run from top to the bottom. From top to the bottom, mobile phase is running due to the capillary action and the separation takes place. From top to the bottom, mobile phase is running. That's why the name is descending development. Again, we prepare same chromatogram, baseline, only we put that chromatogram in descending order, in upward direction. Okay, and mobile phase it is running from top to bottom. That's why the name is ascending development, and we get the separation of component by this way. Okay, then the last is the radial or circular paper development method. In that, we take a circular paper at the center. This is a circular paper. At the center, we place a sample. Here the sample spotting is there. We place the sample and we make a one wick. Okay, and we place this paper in the petri dish. That petri dish consists of a solvent. That is nothing but the mobile phase. Okay, the petri dish consists of a mobile phase. When we put this paper in that petri dish, what happen? Through a weak portion, it is first come in contact with the solvent, right? And through that wick, the solvent get move on the paper, and we can get a separate ring like part on a paper on which the separation of component takes place. Okay, this is about the radial circular paper method. It is clear? It is very simple. You have to learn all these things. So in this today's lecture, we discuss what is chromatography, how the chromatograms are developed, and development of chromatogram by two ways, by column chromatography and by paper chromatography. Okay, these parts we have seen in this lecture. In the next lecture, we will see the theories of chromatographic technique.